Peace, family. It's your brother, Marc Lamont Hill. You're watching the Marc Lamont Hill official YouTube channel. Day 187 of Israel's war on Gaza. That's right. It is day 187 since October 7th, when Israel began its genocidal campaign in the Gaza Strip. And every single day here on the channel, we cover it. We give you the latest updates. We give you the most important information. We give you the stories, the data, the analysis, the breakdown that corporate media does not want you to have. That's what we do every single night here on the channel. And we're going to continue to do it until the day that this war comes to an end. What we're going to do right now is just give a few quick updates before we go about what's happening in this war on Gaza. Let me see here. Actually, you know what? We got a little tech issue again. I've seen this before, y'all. I'm going to just check something out because I don't see no body here online. I want to make sure that we're... Yeah, that's what I thought. We should be good now. We should be good now. There we go. Now we're back up. We're going to take another 10 seconds, y'all. We're going to take a quick break, come right back. We had a tech challenge, which is why we didn't have any viewers in the room. We're going to check that out and fix it in about 30 seconds. Everybody hang tight. We'll be right back.
Right? You make her happy, so you'll be all right.
And happy wife normally is about happy life for me.
Right, that's what I'm saying. It ain't about her, it's about you.
So Van says that because Jewish people showed up for Black Americans during the Civil Rights era, he now feels compelled to stand with them now. Let me be clear.
What's the white liberal ideology I'm following?
I'm not saying you.
No, that's what you said. So I'm saying, which one?
No one is free until we are all free. There is no room for any injustice.
There we go, everybody. Welcome back to the Marc Lamont Hill official YouTube channel. We are now going to do Israel's war on Gaza, which has now reached day 187. That's right. For 187 days, Israel has been waging a campaign in the Gaza Strip, one that we consider to be illegal, immoral, and without interruption, will continue to go maybe forever. And so we're going to struggle as media to tell this story. We're going to go out there and break down all the things that corporate media does not want you to know, all the stuff that the mainstream outlets don't want you to figure out. We got it right here. All right, family, let's get started. We're not going to be here long, but we're going to be here with a thorough breakdown. The first thing I want to do is begin with the numbers. As of right now, Israel has killed 33,482 Palestinians. That's right. Since the October 7th attacks, 33,482 Palestinians have been killed. 76,049 have been wounded. And of course, the death toll in Israel from Hamas's October 7th attacks stand at 1,139, with dozens still held captive. In his harshest criticism of the Gaza war, U.S. President Joe Biden has told Israel to, quote, just call a ceasefire, describing the ongoing military operation as a, quote, unquote, mistake. It takes a lot to get the United States to separate from Israel. And the fact that Israel has managed to do that tells you a lot about just how unsettling, just how disturbing what's happening in Gaza is at the moment. Israeli Prime Minister Netanyahu, his approach to the Gaza war was a mistake, Joe Biden said. And on Tuesday, Netanyahu said there is, quote, no force in the world that will stop us. In other words, it doesn't matter what the world says. It doesn't matter what international communities say. It doesn't matter what nations, leaders say. He's not going to stop what's going on in Gaza. And in fact, he's about to mount a more intensified ground campaign in the south, in the Rafah region. Again, that tells you everything you need to know about who's on the right side of history here. Family, we just want to give you a couple more updates. Several family members of the captives held by Hamas met U.S. Vice President Kamala Harris at the White House on Tuesday to call for a deal to ensure the release of their loved ones and implement a temporary ceasefire in Gaza. Of course, we don't want a temporary ceasefire in Gaza. We want a permanent ceasefire in Gaza. But anything right now that will give the Palestinian people some relief, some release, even if it's just a half a second to breathe, we got to at least consider it. All right, family. UN Secretary General Antonio Guterres expressed his sorrow over the violence and hardships that are being experienced by Muslims in Gaza and elsewhere in his annual greeting for Eid al-Fitr. My heart is broken to know that in Gaza, Sudan, and so many other places, because of conflict and hunger, so many Muslims will not be able to celebrate Eid properly. This is the truth. This is the message. It's one that we have to be very mindful of. And it seemed like all the settler colonial stewards were coming out with statements today. In a message wishing Eid Mubarak, Australia's Prime Minister, Anthony Albanese, acknowledged that the suffering in Gaza will mean many Muslim Australians will mark Eid al-Fitr with sorrow. Ireland issued a similar statement, but we're seeing a lot of nations come out. Again, this isn't happening because people are starting to feel bad or because people suddenly grew a conscience. They're doing it because it's very clear that if they don't, it's going to be hard for there's just so many levels and layers. So, let me keep going. But again, people aren't just sticking their heads out because they suddenly feel bad. There's a strategic interest here that we have to think about with, when it comes to different countries around the world. But at this moment, even if it's just getting the progressive vote back, it's probably worth it to him. So he needs to do the right thing, even if it's not for the right reason. And I mean that in Australia, I mean that in France, I mean that specifically in the United States. All of these places, we have to consider this. Anyway, family, I'm not going to keep you long. I just want to give you a couple quick updates about what was going on in Gaza. Obviously, the diplomatic and geopolitical tensions that are emerging are incredibly important. Before you go, I want to give a couple updates on some of the reasons why these death tolls keep rising. On Tuesday, one day before Eid, an Israeli airstrike killed at least 14 Palestinians, including 4 blessed children, in the Nuseirat camp in central Gaza. Palestinians in Rafah started celebrating Eid al-Fitr with Israeli drones buzzing overhead. This is the reality. People are struggling, people are hungry, people are unsafe, people are being packed into places like Rafah, only to have them invaded later with the ground invasion. We got to pay attention to all of it. Anyway, family, I'm going to run, but I want to thank everybody for watching the update on the war on Gaza. We'll have much more coming up tomorrow. Stay right here. Talk to you soon. Peace.